actually a few comments about evacuation planning, which to me is really the Achilles heel of being disaster ready for almost any kind of very large scale disaster. I just want to explain to you from a public health perspective why that is the case. There are many, many things that we observed that happened following the earthquake, tsunami, and the Fukushima disasters in Japan that I hope serves as a lesson in Japan, but really more so for all of the United States and other countries around the planet as well. There isn't a single country on the planet, not a single one, that I would consider to be adequately prepared for large-scale, really mega disasters. 5 key points I'm going to try to quickly make. Next slide. First of all, point 1 is, will the expectation be that we will see orchestrated, planned evacuations or spontaneous evacuations? And the main point here is that we should count on the fact that evacuations from a large-scale disaster at Indian Point or any other nuclear power plant will be in some small part organized or orchestrated, implemented by government, but a tremendous amount of spontaneous evacuation will happen, and no matter what it is that government says or no matter what the plans are. That fact alone makes us very uneasy about what actually would happen. And the next slide. These are just different ways of looking at how people would evacuate. This is a nuclear event in New York City that was used for this model. The point is that people spontaneously and through planning go to 8 different states minimum if they can get there. And the question is going to come up now, what happens when they get there and when are they able to return? Next slide, Gary. Second point is that every single large-scale evacuation is a public health crisis or a challenge at the very minimum. You cannot have a large-scale evacuation without public health problems. Let me review some of these. So for the evacuees, the people leaving, whether or not they've been exposed to anything, first of all, they're separated from loved ones and people they're dependent on. Very, very unsettling from a mental health point of view. There is extreme uncertainty about when they can return, especially with a nuclear or radiological event. You have no idea when you're going to be able to return. It's not like evacuating from New Orleans and Katrina, or evacuating from even a chemical spill where you'll be able to go back at a point X. When you leave from the hot zone around a radiation event, you are gone for you don't know how long, and neither do I. It's the end of normalcy for hundreds of thousands of people. Suddenly find their lives turned upside down. They may not be able to return to their homes. They may not be able to get their possessions. They may or may not, in any kind of rapid way, be reunited with their loved ones. Next, Gary. Loss of possessions, as you can totally imagine. Number 5. Loss of pets. Very, very traumatic. We saw this in New Orleans and Louisiana, the Gulf Coast after Katrina. Injuries that people will have, depending on what kind of event, how close they were, what exactly was the radiological situation, but all kinds of blood trauma, radiation exposure, not so much burns, but certainly shock. Next. People are hungry and thirsty leaving. How many have actually fulfilled the recommendations that we have enough food and water for 3 days, which of course is not enough? Acute evacuation trauma. If you're evacuating and using a 2-lane highway or a 50-lane highway, motor vehicle accidents are going to shut things down for extended periods of time potentially. Acute illnesses. Just because you're evacuating doesn't mean you're not going to see the normal occurrence, maybe even heightened occurrence of heart attacks, asthma attacks, diabetic ketoacidosis, major medical emergencies. We'll have to evacuate people from the evacuation. We'll have to get medical services to the evacuees. Complications of chronic illness, like the type I'm just mentioning, all can occur and will occur. Why? People won't necessarily have their medications. They won't have enough medications. They'll run out day 1. Day 2, their hypertension, their diabetes, their heart disease will not be treatable. This is not a menu of things that are possibilities. These are all things that will occur in the course of a large-scale prolonged evacuation. Third point, pre-disaster vulnerabilities. There are many, many people with vulnerabilities that put them at special risk. We have children, for example, seniors, people with disabilities. These people need not just routine evacuation instructions, they need everything and special special services. The fourth thing, and this is really a very important point, and I want you to imagine this, that people are leaving here, let's say, and they're going somewhere. Where are they going exactly? On those modeling maps I showed you earlier, they're going all over the place. They're going to go up the New York State Thruway and get off at Goshen, New York, with a population of about 5,000 people. So they may have 20,000 visitors dropping by. What communities in the host community array are going to be ready to deal with huge numbers of evacuees who are scared and injured and so forth. So here's the to-do list for the host communities, of which will need thousands and thousands. They'll need shelter. They'll need sanitation. They'll need reliable supply chains of food and water and medicines and so forth. And this is not a menu either. We get all of this. The fifth and final point is that my belief is that the competency of evacuation planning can't be out of scope as it currently is, and where they're evaluating the safety and the recertification of nuclear power plants. Right now, what I just told you, every word of it, cannot be used to not certify a new plant or recertify an old plant. It's very, very dangerous. What they look at are the mechanical failures and the actual operational vulnerabilities of the plant. The problem is that if we don't have adequate emergency plans, if we're not ready for what I just showed you, we're not ready for a nuclear power plant in our community.
Yeah.